Okay guys, video part 2. I told you I'd show you a little bit of how to mix the freeform air properly. It's super easy. I also wanted to tell you, like, there's a lot of different kinds of this stuff. There's one called Magic Sculpt that I don't have on hand. There's also Epoxy Sculpt. This is the freeform, not air. So the one you have, freeform air, is lighter weight. This is actually an early version. I have so many of these things, it's crazy. But this stuff is, it's epoxy dough. It is, it dries like to this very tough, rigid plastic, basically. And the cool thing is, like, it's easy to use, but it also is like, unlike plastic, you can't really easily sand plastic without having to polish it back out. You can sand this, you can drill it, you can carve it, you can use, you know, tools on it. There's all kinds of things. You can smooth it with water, which is my favorite aspect of it. Oh, I didn't think to grab any water, of course, so I'm not going to show you that aspect. But you can smooth it with water really, really easily. And if you're in a hurry, you don't even have to wait for this to be fully cured to paint it. You can actually paint it when it's drying, and it will accept the paint. They're all pretty much the same thing for the most part. It's part A to part B, 1-to-1. So on all of the Smooth On products, you will see like a yellow label and a blue label, part A, part B. This freeform sculpt, I'm not sure if it's the same for the air, because I have 5-gallon buckets of air behind me, of the freeform air, and I didn't want to grab any of that because they're harder to open. But on this one, it says the pot life is 1.5 hours. Pot life means that's the amount of time you have to work with it. That's the amount of time you have to mix it and do whatever you have to do with it. So you have an hour, hour and a half to work with it before it starts to stiffen up. And then it cures overnight. So the thing is, you can use this to sculpt something, but you can also use it to glue things together. You can use it to sort of like create a base for something, or put some, you know, stability under something, make something stronger. So if you want to use this with your plaster, you may. It's going to be a different color slightly. It's going to be gray. This is actually what I'm using for the Meow Wolf project. So I'll be doing a lot of this, you know, kneading this stuff. So first thing you'll notice is, and again, this is not probably exactly the same thing you have, but it's close. You'll notice 2 different colors, right? So you can see when it's really well mixed. And what I like to do with this is I'll take a little ball of it. And the funny thing about this one is, so this isn't even the cans these come in anymore. I've had these for years. This stuff lasted for years. If you keep it covered and keep it closed and don't let it dry out, it will last a really long time. So what I usually do is I'll make a little ball and I'll put it here. Now you'll notice I grabbed with this hand out of this one. You do not want to get this inside of this if you want it to last, because if you do, this will start to harden. The chemical cure will start to happen, you know? So I use my other hand to grab this side. The gray is usually a little bit stiffer than the white. And then make sure you don't have any of that in there. And I'll get another little ball and mix it, you know, roll it so that it's about roughly, I've got little pieces of it coming off, roughly the same size. Doesn't have to be, you know, exact, right? Like, it's not, this stuff is not fussy at all. It always cures. I've never had any problems with it. But, you know, I like to sort of, when I'm doing this, just be sure that, like, I'm keeping the same quantities, because essentially what happens is you'll run out of one before the other, and then you have just a bunch of waste. So the way I usually approach this is, you know, the white is not as stiff and the gray is stiffer. And I'll usually like flatten it out, fold it again. I'll just start by making sort of a sandwich. Flatten it, fold it, flatten it, fold it, you know, and that's like a good way to get started kneading it. You want this to be 100% the same color all the way through. Any parts that are unmixed will not cure. And what will happen is you'll wind up with this very sticky, and eventually it'll kind of ooze. You'll wind up with a sticky spot in your sculpture, and no one wants a sticky spot in their sculpture. So see how it's kind of marbled at this point? You know, you can really, the nice thing is when this is dyed 2 different colors, and I've used brands that aren't, it's much harder. You know, like you wind up with knowing exactly when this is fully mixed. Take a minute. I'm gonna have to do, oh my gosh. I mean, I have right now 4 or 5 gallon buckets of this stuff. And when I say 5 gallon buckets, it's a 5 gallon bucket of part A, 5 gallon bucket of part B. Very expensive, probably, I can't remember, I think it was about 450 bucks for the 2 buckets. And so when I'm doing this for Meow Wolf, I'll be building it over, on the inside there's a steel framework, and then there's a like metal mesh on the outside that's bendable, and so this will have something to stick to, and I don't have to do the entire thing out of this. However, the freeform air that you've been sent is like really lightweight, or that was in your box if you picked up your box. And the nice thing about it being so lightweight is that it really kind of opens up your options. You know, if you want to have something that's like up on top of something or unbalanced or whatever, you know, it kind of gives you some ideas of, you know, like, you know, we have to worry about, like, for example, at Meow Wolf, the load level on the platform, you know, because everything's according to this, what the engineer has decided is safe. So you can see this is pretty well mixed now. It's all one color. I don't really see 2 colors anymore. Now, what do you do with this now that you've got it mixed? I mean, one, you can sculpt it. You can sculpt it in any kind of way. It's just like clay at this point. It's really easy to work with. It's soft, it's pliable. It'll remain that way for at least an hour. If you use water, you can totally smooth it with water. You can use tools and carve into it with tools, make impressions into it. Like I said, you can paint it. You know, I'm not really trying to make a thing here, I'm just doing it. But here's the other thing about it. This has incredible adhesive properties, so much so that I had a concrete countertop the first time I used this stuff, and I mixed it into the concrete. I mixed it and I set it on the countertop and I left it there to dry. It actually pulled a chunk out of the concrete. It was that strong. So this is an incredibly strong material. You can use it to join 2 things together. You know, later in the term, we'll be looking at an artist's work that is part of the plastic assignment. And in the plastic assignment, the artist took plastic bottles and used this to sort of create an edge that they could join the 2 edges together. It dries so strong, and it kind of sticks to, I haven't found anything yet that it won't stick to. So you can use this sort of as an adhesive underneath things, inside of things. If there's a shape that you don't have molded for your plaster disaster project and you wanted to say, like, stick your molded pieces into it, you know, you could do that. That will hold. I will not be able to get this out of there if I don't take it out. I'm going to take it out because I want to, but I don't want it in there permanently. But like, say you had these 3 little things here. So you had these 3 little diamonds and you're trying to make a little geode thing, you know, you could stick these in here like this. Smooth the surfaces in between. I wish I'd grabbed some water other than for the plaster. You can smooth the in between and leave it. And when this is done, these are in there. This is set. This is gonna be hard. This won't move. So this stuff is like incredibly useful for all kinds of things, either as an adhesive or as a sculpting material. And I hope you enjoy working with it. I think it's a lot of fun. I use it for just about everything. It seems like I use it all the time. And it's really good too for like making, say, like a form that you want to work on. Like, say you wanted to paint a shape. You know, you could make your shape, paint on it, whatever you want to do. So yeah, that's what I've got for you today. I'm going to try to upload these as soon as possible. Hopefully it works and I get them online for you quickly. I appreciate you guys' patience with the internet issues. I'm sorry about that happening, but hopefully this is more useful to you anyway, because you can refer back to it later if you forgot or you had a glitch in your bandwidth or something. So everyone have a great day. Please don't hesitate to reach out for help, and I will be talking to you soon. Oh, actually, one more thing. So I can tell you that my plaster that I poured before, it's not cured yet, but it's starting to harden and it's starting to get like a little bit of moisture on the top. So that's pretty good. And this mold also starting to harden. I can peel it away. In fact, I might be able to peel the whole thing away right now. I don't think it's fully cured, so I'm gonna be very careful. But I have a successful mold from that. So it's really fast and easy and immediate. You should be able to like do several things quickly with this and not get too bogged down in process, hopefully. Also, I used gloves for this. This is not toxic. You don't have to use gloves, but like I said, it just, everything sucks the moisture out of your hands. So I try to do that or my hands wind up all dry and cracked. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna go upload these videos. Hopefully they help you and that you have fun with this process. I'll see you on Thursday.